Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. I am so excited to be able to share with you what makes me come most alive. It's great to be here, and I'm glad that you're here because part of being here is showing up, and the other half of that is listening. Spoken word poetry is an invitation to listen. It's an invitation to be here now. There are poems out there that are waiting to be written and waiting to be heard, and some poems are like toddlers. They want you now, they want your attention here, now, they want you to witness them, feed them, nurture them, love them, and share them. And I am very, very honored to be able to share some poems with you today. The first poem I'm going to share with you is one of those toddlers, kind of like one of those tyrannical infants that when they're awake, you're awake. And so this poem woke me up at 4 in the morning and kept me up until dawn. So this poem is called Rooster. Roosters are crowing at 2 and 4 in the morning, so surely something is amiss in this play, story, scene, stage. Roosters crowing off time should remind us that something doesn't fit, that potentially this comedy has tragic elements. In this act, we are lost in the Atlantic, the tip of a volcanic pimple on the Earth's surface. We are insignificant. We are the needle in the stack, searching for purpose in a seamless world. We are so lost. We are the tip of a triangular abyss that things get lost in. We are where your socks go when they go missing. We are where we keep going because not going is scarier than stop. And every day we are more of the world than another world, but one with the world we are not. And I've got Jehovah's Witnesses canvassing on Sundays with their last day speech, pitching awake because they think I'm fast asleep. But I don't need Jesus to know that this dissonance is cognitive. I don't need a watchtower to watch religion cleaning their consciences better than liquor ever did. And even when we glean the meaning of it, we are still lost. Like nighttime when it's dawn, like yesterday, we are gone, lost. Like polar bears pondering evolution on the brink of bartering Darwin their fur for fins, like Native Americans are native yet hyphened. Like white privilege is often lost on white skin. So excuse me if I join the roosters with my The rooster's crow is supposed to announce the arrival of a new day, but it is still night. Tomorrow never comes. And while my dreams wait to dilate on the sun, my eyes dry up like raisins because I face east, forwards towards the horizon, and I'm aware that this sounds cliche, but where else should I look? Should I look up at our national birds perched atop of the buildings that they're building? If you squint, these cranes look like arms we raise in praise of our progress. But these birds are a peculiar kind of fowl. And Bermuda Shore is looking more like a hallelujah construction site than paradise. So I don't howl with Ginsberg. I crow because our youth's SOS is hieroglyphed in blood. Their distress flares red like flare guns, and we are losing our minds trying to get found. But this is where the epiphany boomerangs, cul-de-sacs, circles back like karma, and other things circular. See, I realize that those roosters are just knocking on our consciousness like witnesses. I realize that those roosters are just chickens, birds who have wings but cannot fly long distance, and that although they may fly higher than penguins, penguins can at least swim the distance between here and anywhere but here. And lost is the feeling of futility and sterile dreams. And lost is immobility, bulleting flesh. And politicians want to blame weed for the predicament we're in, but this lost is indicative of an absence within. This lost is 1 mile wide and shorter than a marathon. This lost is grown folk giving up on dawn like roosters crowing out of sync with the universe. It's our youth growing up out of sync in verse. And so they shoot. And they shoot, and they shoot, and they shoot at 2 and 4 in the morning or the afternoon. Nowadays, it makes no never mind. The light of day is just as fatal as the dead of night. Our island nation is 400 years prenatal. But I dream of us unfurled from this fetal position. So I'm going to set things right in the morning, and I'm going to crow on time, because for me, there is no getting used to this. Not when rights are denied for homosexuals but demanded for criminals. Not when a man can serve more time in prison for selling weed than raping women. Not when half a generation gets comfortable with miserable while the other half sinks in illiteracy. Fuck quo fata ferent. The evidence is smoking like these young men's guns. We need to dream deliberately. Thank you. Wow, oh my goodness, now you got me all excited. All right, I came here today and I had to make a choice between sharing poems or talking about poetry. And I got some good advice and I decided to share poems and keep that as the foundation of my talk today. And I realized one of the things that happens when you decide to share poems instead of making an argument for poems is that you risk coming across as childish or not as much of an intellectual as you would aspire or try to project yourself to be. But I'm not really concerned with that. I'm okay with seeming childish, because after diapers and bedwetting, I think kids are pretty awesome people. And I don't mind being compared to children. And the next poem I'm going to share with you is called Indigenous. And this is what I remember of our childhoods. I liked it then. I liked it when we were too young to care about the seconds that made minutes turn to hours. When we braided hibiscuses into our hair and made necklaces from cane grass and oleander flowers. And that was dangerous. And we were dangerous, because the white Guinan was poisonous. I remember the days we played leapfrog, British bulldog, and it, and we tried to find ways to say, without saying shit. But too soon we lose hope, become adults, trade in our jump ropes for cynicism and clever insults, but I liked it then. I liked it when everything ended in pretty please, or pinky swear. And doubt was just something that sinks that had no hold on us. And I remember because I remember you there. And I liked it then. I liked it when we went swimming in sun showers, fashioned towels into capes, made up heroic names and superpowers, tore down mama's curtains to make fortresses and tents. See how I liked it then? when I was certain that every minute of every hour was well spent. So I call on you all now and again, steady your feet on these cumulus clouds, lift your heavy hearts, hold them in hand as if candle and light the wick. Let the wax drip because we liked it then. And if we willed our hopes and dreams to spread and blend like inks dyeing soft paper, what colors would our capes make in the sky? What wide-eyed capers could we will to life as we tie-dyed the atmosphere with our kites last May? I thought about the trades we make. Cotton capes in April, loquats in March, and courage alit in our hearts like wind lifting kites. So I call on you all, now and again, steady your souls on these cumulus clouds, lift your heavied hearts, and feel freedom in the inevitable pull, tug, and snap of the kite string. I dare you, I double dare you to dream again. Thank you. What happens when we grow up is it's this precarious situation that what happens when we get afraid to close our eyes to dream. And I think that's a very dangerous thing to be fearful of. And what happens also is that they say that straight lines are the quickest routes. But we would rather circle round our softer parts, incorrectly thinking that it's more expedient to circumnavigate our feelings and vulnerabilities. When you walked in here today, hopefully you were all given blindfolds. I'm going to ask you to find your blindfolds, and if you have glasses, remove your glasses, and as quickly as possible for you to put on your blindfolds so that I can share the final poem with you today.
If you don't have a blindfold, you can close your eyes. But no.
I trust you. But you won't enjoy it as much if you peek, people. So this final poem is called Daddy. You used to guard my dreams. I swore you spent days axe battling the boogeyman in my closet and the monsters under my bed. I swore you spent your nights sleepwalking the hallway between our rooms, and you were water for the dragons and you were fire for the ghouls. Your history taught me how to see the system. Before I could even spell resist, you had me prepped for the resistance. I remember stories of black berets, fists, leather jackets, and how you lit buildings owned by bigots. Daddy, you were my Ferdinand, flowers in hoof. Now you are all horns. See, I never wrote you in as one of them. Not when it was you spelling out the tyranny of isms, but I didn't see Jesus coming. My eyes couldn't bend round the corner of your baptisms. So before I am a lesbian waiting for 2 words and a comma, I am just a daughter searching for a rescue poem for her father. If only words were a bridge of stones across the ones you've thrown, I'd replace my armor for pajamas, and you'd already be carrying me back to bed. Have you forgotten how your souls were once the winds lifting my airplane body, how your arms embraced me like a runway, how you built me strong enough to survive stepped on. But lately I've been boxing your souls and icing my fists. Lately my head feels knuckled and my heart puddles when you step. The nights you left me homeless, I felt like the top hat after the magic act, emptied of extraordinary. You never remember my memories, how I had always dismembered the Barbies. I had always left them butched up or buzz cut, a G.I. Jane figurine for each Jasmine. My Easy Bake saw more mud pies than cupcakes. I was ready for the revolution at 10. By 18, I knew liberty, statued and feminine, holding the torch of me between her thighs. I thought that the idea of grandchildren would crumble your Berlin walls, but the bricks of your shame were iron. You said any child of mine, adopted or otherwise, would be a heathen delivered into hell. And the well of me was emptied of all water and all wishes. So teach me how to love you now. Because the truth is, I still need to curl up on your belly, my breathing half moon on a sky of blankets. At 11, I'd listen to your heartbeat through your blowhole, half expecting you to spray the sea out. I swore there were oceans inside you, oceans piled high and deep like sapphire, oceans of anemones for the clown in me. Daddy, I never told you that your love was my alphabet. Then now I carry a language inside me in webs of I ams, and that I am a million Charlottes for your pot belly. Because you are terrific, radiant, and humbling. You are a blue ribboned existence. So I am quilting a silk banner in your doorway, trying to make poetry save our us from the slaughter of religion. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. I'm under no illusions about what poetry can and cannot do. Poetry is not going to find a cure to cancer. Poetry is not going to clean up the Gulf Stream. And poetry is not going to free Libya. But poetry teaches us and trains us to respect and engage with our feelings and our deepest fears and our deepest dreams. And when we make those connections to our internal truths, it transforms us. So my idea worth spreading is that ideas alone will not change our world, that we have to feel our way free. Thank you.